In this conversation, we're going to talk about a very important subject, internal marketing. Internal marketing is something most doctors think they understand, but I'm going to challenge you, and I'm a general dentist as well, but I'm going to challenge you that you really don't understand it. Because when we look at most practices, and especially those that want more patients, and they tell us about internal marketing, what it really is a few gimmicks they've put together. And that is not internal marketing. When we launched our internal marketing program at Levin Group, and we call it the science of internal marketing, I believe it really is a science. We had spent time testing it. We produced results 99% of the time. To me, that's a science. And I'm going to tell you now about that science so you can really understand internal marketing the way it's supposed to be. Now, before I tell you about internal marketing, I do want to address one topic. I'm asked a lot by clients and seminar attendees. I give about 100 seminars a year in the United States and worldwide. And they'll say, well, why aren't you doing consulting on external marketing, advertising, direct mail, etc.? And the answer is that Levin Group, being the leading, in my opinion, dental consulting firm, has a number of different programs, and they all have somewhere between a 98 and 99% success rate. We test everything we do, we have lots of data, we measure everything, just like you should be doing in your practice. So we know it works and we know it doesn't. And I can tell you that external marketing, advertising, and reaching out to the community and direct mail, it fails most of the time. I'm not against external marketing. It can work, but it doesn't work most of the time. And I meet doctor after doctor who has tried direct mail and failed, has tried Yellow Pages has got to be one of the ones that has a huge failure rate relative to your expenditures. Reaching out through advertising. You know, they say it takes 17 impressions for someone to take an action. That's ridiculous. If that were true, everybody would advertise 17 times or 34 times or whatever it would be, and patients would come in and accept all kinds of treatment. So know that external marketing has a very high failure rate, and that's why we don't get involved in it. But what has a very predictable success rate is internal marketing. And I'm holding a piece of paper here. I don't like to read things normally, especially when we're having conversations, but this is a piece of paper that outlines the 24 tools that we use in internal marketing. It's a science. It's not about gimmicks. So for example, the patient reactivation program. How many of your patients are over 18 months overdue? Are they lost to the practice? How many can we get back to hit our management target of 98% of all patients being scheduled at all times? We achieve that within 90 days. A patient who isn't coming in can't accept treatment, can't pay fees, and doesn't refer anybody, and often ends up in another practice down the road. Or worse, they just become an emergency patient disrupting your schedule on a regular basis. So we have concepts in our internal marketing like the practice analyzer to see who is referring, the patient reactivation program, customer service driver. We have an amazing belief that customer service is critical, and you should be measuring it, by the way. Part of that program is to measure customer satisfaction. You know, we love to hear the good things, and by the way, that's very energizing to the team. Share the good things, but it's also important to hear the occasional bad thing where we find out where we can be better. Remember, we live in our offices, so we're not objective. We don't see what's in front of us every day because we're so used to it. We have a concept called the top 200 where we focus on the top 200 patients with the best potential to refer to the practice, and we have a separate program to stimulate, excite, and motivate them to refer. We use the 4 thank yous so that any patient who refers to the practice gets a phone call from the practice to thank them, gets an email thank you note, gets a very small token gift, whether it's a coupon for a gourmet coffee or a movie or whatever. And when they come in, they get 4 more thank yous with scripting from the front desk person, the doctor, the assistant, and front desk, or the front desk person, the hygienist, the doctor, the front desk. So we really reinforce the positive aspect of referring. We have an email marketing campaign as part of internal marketing. Doctors tell me all the time they have wonderful relationships with their patients. Well, think about it. You only see them once every 6 months on average. How great is that relationship? What you're really saying is they keep coming back. But now with electronic media, we can communicate all the time with our patients. We can communicate with updates in dentistry, news from the office, information about successful patients, all kinds of ways that we can now communicate to keep ourselves in front of patients. Website. We don't design websites at Levin Group, but we do take a look at them and make recommendations as to what should be incorporated, because we know that websites are not They may help to get new patients, but they're also very much about relationship building with current patients and new patients who call to schedule. The Smile Makeover Program. We've taken aesthetic consultation to a new level. We don't wait for patients to solicit us for cosmetics. Every patient has an opportunity to go through the Smile Makeover tool and component of internal marketing, which generates enormous amounts of cosmetic dentistry ranging from whitening to full sets of veneers. And I could go on and on about this, but I'm going to put this down now and tell you the one other component of internal marketing that's critical. And that component, we learned early on, is interpersonal skills training for the dental team. Now, I know that we're the only firm in dentistry that has a year-long internal marketing consulting program, but it wouldn't work as well. It would not work nearly as well, and it's working at about 99% success rates, unless we trained the team on interpersonal relations. Your team members are great. We respect them, we like them, we know they're hardworking, but like anyone else, they need new skill sets regularly. And interpersonal skills training, and I don't know anyone else in dentistry that teaches this, we brought it in from the business world, teaches your staff how to build better, faster, more powerful relations with your patients. So you need to train them on not just getting along with patients, but inspiring patients, motivating patients, having influence with patients. All of our value creation scripting has now been redone along the lines of creating influence, not just communicating, but influencing patients to accept appointments, to take care of their balances, to accept treatment, and in internal marketing, to refer other people. All of your patients, in a very tasteful way, will know you love referrals, you appreciate them, and the goal, the target we use, is we want 40 to 60% of your patients referring at least one other patient per year. And right now, most practices are well below the 20% mark. So this is an area, I love areas that have great potential, and internal marketing, when it's done scientifically, is absolutely one of those great, great potential areas.